Hey guys, why is it at my feet? Okay, now it's at my face. Hey, and I'm backlit. I should really turn around. There you go, that's better. This is a quick update because a couple of things have happened. The Nokia 8 has had its update, not to Android 8, but its customer ready update. So anyone who stayed on top of the channel when I was using the Nokia 8 will know that I held off doing the full review because the software was too buggy. It wasn't out for final release yet, and now it is, and so that's cool. So I can get the Nokia 8 review done. That's rolled out today, the update. I haven't used it yet. Nokia 8 update, can't wait to. Any questions about the Nokia 8? I'm going to be using it for another few days just to make sure that the update has indeed fixed a lot of what I found wrong with it, specifically stability wise, and then I'll post my review. It's fair that we don't want to be posting reviews on beta stuff. So hey Dan, nice to see you. So we got some people in the chat room, so if you are here, say hey and I'll do my best to give you a shout out. This is also an update on the Xperia XZ1 compact and answering a couple of your questions and a couple of questions that people left in the comments. I am out and about now. This is streaming over Vodafone 4G, so a massive shout out to Vodafone 4G. Just did a speed test and you should be getting a really smooth stream, so fingers crossed you are. Right, let's start off with the Xperia XZ1 compact. The XZ1 compact, I have been using it for a week. I freaking love it. I love the design of this thing. The fact it has flat sides, it feels like metal even though it's a glass plastic fiber. It really is one of the most comfortable phones I've ever used holding my hand, and it kind of goes with my headphones. Yeah, really great looking phone. I don't mind that the screen's a bit small, 4.6 inches. If anything, it just means it's even more comfortable. Again, I can reach to every extremity of the screen and I love it. USB Type-C at the bottom. It's a slow USB-C. It isn't a USB 3, so you're not going to get super fast transfer speeds, but you are going to get super fast charging speeds. So it does support Qualcomm Quick Charge 3. Up at the top is a 3.5mm jack, and it supports high-res audio, and not just high-res audio. Anyone who's used the Sony before will know that the sound options are super extensive. I can actually jump into them. Sorry for the background noise, guys. I'm out and about, and I can flip the cameras around, and you can see the audio settings range from DSEEHX, improving the quality when you've got headphones on, through to Clear Audio Plus, which bangs up the treble. You've got sound effects I'll jump into a second, dynamic normalizer, so if you're listening to super peaky music, it brings down the peaks. It does also lower the overall volume. I've done a whole load of speaker comparisons on BTEC. If you've seen them, you'll know that this thing is a beast. It benchmarks in terms of speakers on par with the XZ1. Maybe not quite as loud as the HTC U11 or iPhone 7 Plus, but still not too shabby, especially for a 4.6-inch screen phone. You've also got options to access a full equalizer, and you can see there are a whole load of presets as well, and jumping out of that, there's also S4 surround, which gives the illusion of bass, but it does muffle things. So for everything Sony gives you, there may be a compromise with sound, but from the latest version of aptX right through to those options and high-res audio, of course, like I said, I'm super happy, super impressed that Sony has given you such a great array of sound features on a compact device. Right, let's get back to my face and let's give you guys a bit of a shout out. So we've got Dan, we've got World One Logan, hello, we've got Aravind Sankar, Tristan Howden, I got Nokia 8, choppy at best. Ooh, you got the Nokia 8 update, Tristan, because if you haven't, then there's an update today that should hopefully fix that. I haven't personally used it myself. We've also got Arsenal Glasgow, hey mate, do you think it's safe to buy phones from Gumtree? Nah, depends. There's every chance it could be off the back of a van, but if you try it out first and it works, then it works. But I personally probably wouldn't. You've got Hi from Clinton, Sony is best forever. That's your opinion. Sony's definitely impressed me with the Z1 compact. The XZ1 itself is a good phone. It's a good phone, but it's much more competitive in the 5.2, 5.3, 5.5 inch space. And when you're charging $599 for your phone, bam. Battery life review on the compact, honestly, I was expecting it to be slightly better because I know 2700 milliamps isn't a huge amount, but I was really hoping it would easily last for 2 days for me, but it's 1 and a bit days comfortably. So it's definitely better than the XZ1, and it's going to depend on your usage. I found that keep the brightness low, because it by default sets the brightness really high, and that uses more battery. But if you keep the brightness low, then it is impressive. XZ1 versus XZ1 compact, do you feel much of a difference in size when handling them? That's from Ntweeko. Thanks for the question, Ntweeko, and for the other one, Huami. Yeah, there is a difference in size, a massive difference in size. The XZ1 compact is just a smaller phone. It's thicker, it's chunkier, but that actually makes it easier to hold. The XZ1's also unibody, so it feels super expensive and premium, but I prefer the XZ1 compact in spite of that, just again because it's smaller, and I just think there's a lot to be said for a small phone with a lot of power, with still like packing those speakers, which I really rate. How about LG V30? Think it's bang for buck? The LG V30 is great bang for buck, because what you get with a V30 is the Note 8-esque dual camera, or a dual camera option, which you don't get on the Samsung Galaxy S8s, and in a 6-inch screened form factor. So for anyone who's thinking about a Note 8, and you should be, because it's a great phone, and you're thinking, do you know what though, 6.3 inches, it's just too big, the V30 is a lot smaller. So that's pretty sweet. I like the V30 looks, I like the V30 size-wise, and the latest leaks have also said that the Pixel 2 XL are going to be using the V30's display. For anyone who doesn't know, that's a 6-inch Quad HD, wide Quad HD OLED display. So LG will be producing that for Google, and potentially manufacturing the hardware as well, while HTC will be making the hardware for the smaller device. All right, let's get to your questions. Hi mate from Domino, yo. Alejandro Gasconieto, what's the battery life been? I've already answered that one, Alejandro. It's good, definitely better than a lot of other flagships on the market, but not mind-blowing. It'll last a day. Hey Simranjeet, nice to see you. Battery life of XZ1 is good, not great. It'll last just a day. If you use it intensively, you'll be out by like 8 PM probably. If you use it moderately lightly, you may even creep into 2 days, but you'd have to be using it pretty lightly, a fair bit of screen off time for that to happen. LG V30 or Note 8, I'd pick the Note 8, but that's only because I love drawing. If you type in Speed Sketch or BTEC Speed Sketch on YouTube, you'll see that I love me my drawing, and so anything with a pen, I'm sold. But if you prefer having more options with video, then the V30 may be for you. Mimo asks, hey, thanks for doing this. Not at all. I wanted your opinion about the battery life on the V30 in comparison to the S8 Plus. I understand that you're only using a pre-production model, but general impressions. I'd say they were about even actually. Like maybe the V30 is a little bit worse. It is worse, but it will get you through a day. And also what's excellent about the V30 and the S8 Plus, that wireless charging really does help. Now that Apple has adopted wireless charging, I hate to say it, I sound like every other reviewer, but it's going to be much more mainstream. You're going to find wireless charging outlets in all cafes and everything. The V30 is thinner, it's lighter, it's a smaller, easier to manage device than the S8 Plus. So if you're concerned about size, I also like that the V30 has a side bezel, because it's more comfortable to hold in a way. I like the look of the S8 Plus more in terms of the edged screen, but practically speaking, the V30 is really good. If only the front camera was just a little bit better. But that's pretty much the only thing I can throw up against it. I love the XZ1 compact, but I've said it so many times. You guys are probably sick to death of me saying it, but 32 gig of storage on here was Sony's biggest mistake. Reason being, I filled it up already. So like, you know how like I got this device last week. If I flip the camera around, you can see my storage situation right now. Again, massive shout out to Vodafone for this, because this stream being streamed over 4G, excellent stuff. So jump into storage. Do you see that? I've got a 200 gig SD card in here, but because you can't install applications, you can't install WhatsApp backups or all applications to the SD card, it won't let you transfer them. So I'm just filling up the storage super quickly. Also, if I go into developer options, you can see I've activated being able to transfer files to SD cards, but you can't override it. It's somewhere in there, and it was activated. There you go. Force allow apps on external, but it doesn't actually do anything. I've tried to install third-party applications to help with that. So yeah, the size of it just bums me out as a power user. But if you're not a power user, then the beauty of this thing, the like uniqueness of the offering, this much power in this smaller form factor. I mean, in terms of alternatives, there are only really a few out there. I definitely consider the Honor 9. It's just a little bit bigger. This is 4.6 inches. The Honor 9 is 5.2, but you lose out with the Honor 9. You lose out on the front stereo speakers. You don't have that Snapdragon. You don't have that slow-mo camera, although you do have the Honor's own camera setup. I've also I showed everyone this on the last live feed, but and in my 24-hour review, but the XZ1 compact camera, the fact it can support, let me go into locations, SD card, DCIM, the fact it supports that 960 frame per second slow-mo video is so cool. Let's open this one, and you can instantly see that dude suspended in midair basically, and you can hear it super clearly because the speakers are so good. 960 frames per second slow-mo. As someone who edits and shoots video, I'd actually find this really useful. And again, had this when I was watching a helicopter. The blades in mid-rotation are just basically suspended in time. And again, how amazing is that? It's so cool. So I really like what Sony's done here, and I really want to be able to recommend this to absolute power users. But like I said, I can only do that with an honest conscience if you take into account that 32 gig of storage may well fill up if, like me, you like your RPGs. Just to give you an example, 8 to 10 gigabytes of this is taken up by system, so 10 gigabytes there. Final Fantasy takes 3 gigabytes. My WhatsApp backups take 7 gigabytes. That's 20 gigabytes, and then all my other applications pretty much fill up the other 10 gigabytes. So yeah, sad times. Anyway, back to my face and back to your questions, because there are a lot of them. I know you don't need to see my face, you came here for the phone, but it's all connected. Right, you guys are saying screen on time on the XZ1 battery life. I haven't tested the XZ1. Being completely transparent with you guys, Sony actually messed up a little bit. They sent me, or they gave us at the launch event, XZ1s, but they were pre-production. They had a pre-production screen. So many of you have stayed up to date with our content will have seen that I complain about striation on the XZ1 screen. I complain that even though it's HDR, it's not as good as the compact, weirdly, and that is weird. But that striation wasn't down to the XZ1. I since saw another one that didn't have that. It was because I was given a pre-production unit. Getting these phones early and being able to make these videos is an incredible perk, and I'm really genuinely grateful for it. But it's also a little bit dangerous, just because potentially you can comment on stuff that isn't actually finalized. This one slipped through the net, this device that came to me. Sony's trying to remedy this, so we'll get that swapped out. So that's why there's a pause on the XZ1. I know you guys are all like, God, dude, you've had an XZ1 since IFA. You've had the V30 for ages. You've had the Nokia 8 for ages. But when it's pre-production, putting the word review against anything that you review, these are going to really impact people's buying decisions. So what I'm trying to do is report what I find when I find it as frequently as possible. So that's why I'm uploading the camera comparisons and stuff like that, because that's something that I can categorically say is absolutely fact. Right, let's see what else you're saying. Main problem with Nokia 8 is the camera. Old Lumia 950 and S7 still beat it hands down. Do you think the Nokia software may fix this? The Nokia software may fix this. So I had better camera results from the manual camera application and the Google Pixel camera app that I sideloaded onto it. So that means that there's every opportunity for the update to improve camera performance. And that was from KF Chan. Thank you for that. Why Sony not going below f2 aperture? Sony makes cameras, right? LG V30 has f1.6, so that's from Simran G. I can't comment on the aperture choices of Sony, I'm afraid. What they do well, but they do it well in good light. In bad light, the 960 frames per second is unusable, that slow-mo. So I agree with you, Simran G, fingers crossed. Hi Basil, what's the largest micro SD card that the compact supports? 256 gigabytes, I think it is at the very least. I've got a 200 gig one in here. And that, if your concern is storing the photos and videos that you take, that will be plenty, a storage card with 32 gigs. But if it isn't, if you're like me and you prefer doing stuff like I said, getting big files and games on here, and you've got a big WhatsApp backup, then it's just not gonna cut it. How's the sound profile output from the 3.5mm versus the iPhone? Amazing. I tried it out yesterday. I hadn't tried it out prior, and I haven't done a direct comparison with the iPhone, but get a pair of cans that support high-res audio and at the very least Bluetooth high lossless audio codec. And yeah, Sony focuses more on megapixels. Yes, they do, although they did drop the megapixels this time round from 23 to 19 with the XZ Premium, the XZS, the XZ1 and the XZ1 Compact, but it's just the low light capabilities. And the reason it probably doesn't have optical image stabilization is because the sensor's so big, like 19 megapixels. It's very hard to get OIS on a high megapixel phone unless you do what Nokia did and have a freaking massive camera bump that creates distance between the lens and the sensor. So Mimo says, thank you very much. Mimo, you are very welcome. Does the XZ1 record better bass than the V30? I don't actually know. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I did do an XZ1 Compact or XZ1 V30 camera comparison, video camera comparison, and it also tests out the microphones. That's from Aditya Srivastava. You can check that out. It's on the channel, and you'll be able to gauge for yourself which records better audio and bass as well. Battery life on the 480p, excellent stuff. Marin, so Marin commenting on the awesome Vodafone 4G signal that I'm getting here. Thanks Marin, and he says thanks Vodafone, winning at life. Hey from the UAE, Henry, nice to have you with us. What do you think about LG's POLED screen does not turn off pixels completely on black according to GSM Arena tests? Do you know what, that's getting into the real nitty-gritty. I love GSM Arena for the amount of detail they go into, but I don't care. Like, it's such a beautiful display when it displays colors. Blacks do look really deep. I really rate it. I rate the POLED display on the V30. iPhone users have to buy separate fast charging cables after paying $1,000. Apple being too money hungry, yeah, totally. But like, Apple has the opportunity to charge premium because they can. The British Unknown says, you'll never ban me. No, I won't, dude. I appreciate your time, even if you are a dick sometimes. Yep, I just swore on national broadcast. But yeah, no, thank you for being here. For anyone who doesn't know the backstory, the British Unknown created a meme of me on iPhone night after I'd been recording for pretty much 12 hours straight. I looked tired and he grabbed my tired face and made a meme of it and then sent it over. And it was like the most unflattering picture I've ever seen of myself. And I used to be incredibly overweight, so I've seen some very unflattering pictures of myself. Right, back to you guys. Any distortion in the Sony photos? Not a huge amount. Again, I'm a very pragmatic user. I take pictures of things, I do side-by-side comparisons, but like the minutiae, the fine detail like that I don't think will affect the everyday user, I'll look into for you guys. But personally, as I've been using the Sony, it hasn't bugged me, the distortion. What has bugged me is the fact that in low light, or even in middling light, in decent light, I can't even get a picture that Instagram makes look good. And that's saying something when I'm filtering the bejesus out of a picture and it still doesn't look like it's good enough to post on Instagram. But in good light, the XZ1 Compact and XZ1 are great. I've said this over and over, and it's still super, super true. I'm facing overheating issues with my Xperia X. That's from Mohammed Belayati. Yeah, Mohammed, absolutely. The Xperia X got mad hot. Z3 Compact also got mad hot. The Z5 Compact did get warm, but this is the XZ1 Compact, and I haven't had any overheating even after benchmarking this for ages. The reason it hasn't overheated may be because it's slightly underclocked by comparison to the XZ1. Benchmark slightly lower. I found that heat management is just great generally also on the Snapdragon 835. So yeah, Snapdragon 835 for the win. Mendal Baya, XZ1, yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Sorry, he just corrected himself. Does the XZ1 Compact have a project treble enabled? I don't know if it has that specific feature. You have Clear Audio Plus, which does add treble projection. The XZ1 Compact doesn't have OIS ? From Mohammed. Nope, it doesn't. It has EIS EIS, electrical image stabilization, which works really well for video, but unfortunately it doesn't work too great for photos. Jabber Ovi retracted his message and then brought another one back. Do you think that the V30 has the potential to become the best camera phone of 2017? Yes and no. The picture quality on the V30 is not the best of any phone around. I'm going to say that outright. It's good, but it's not mind-blowing. But the options that it gives you, the shooting options, are really good. The front camera Levante on the V30 isn't too great. 5 megapixels. It's not unusable, and anyone who wants a softer image, i.e. a little bit more flattering, like I think the phone I'm using now, which shall remain nameless until after tomorrow, has a really nice softening effect. I look way more tired than this in real life, although it has made me super pale. So for anyone who doesn't know, I'm going to be going to Rome in the next couple of days for a conference. Manufacturer is going to be launching a smartphone. Don't know what it's going to be, but yeah, it's exciting. So stay tuned for that. There will be loads and loads of videos. Shout out from Saudi Arabia from Jonathan. Shout out Jonathan from London. There's the London sky for you. Any free Windows software tools to calibrate the color display? Not that I... So Simranjit's asking to see, are you asking to see the display settings? Because if you are, I can show you them. Let's open that up. And display settings are super extensive, not expensive. So let me drop the brightness a little bit because it is blinding you guys. There you go, a little bit better. Color gamut and contrast, you can change from professional, standard, super vivid, and it really does make a difference. So I'm going to stick back to standard. You can also see white balance controls are super extensive, and it really again does make a difference, and depending on which mode you've got, it makes more of a difference. So super vivid makes like way more aggressive blue shift if you change that than the standard mode, etc. There's also video image enhancement, and you can see the difference that makes. It just adds a little bit more contrast, a little bit more depth, a little bit more color pop. So yeah, Sony, I love the fact that those flagship elements have totally trickled down to the compacts. I mean, you are paying a fair bit of money for this. This is a £499 device. It is the only £499 device I can think of that only has 32 gig of storage. So yeah, Sony, release a Pro one stat, or just like, yeah, get your units and swap out the storage to 64. This phone is a 4-star phone with 32 gig of storage on board, and it is a 5-star phone with 64. I am gonna say that outright. I really love it. So if down the line Sony does release 64 gig version, it would get 5 stars from me. Back to my face. Right, I've almost finished this coffee, guys. I'm gonna have to head to the gym soon because I'm flying tomorrow and I got to pack, so I'll take a couple of more questions from you. Thank you, but all massively, for being so active in this chat room, and thanks to Vodafone again for the SIM card. British Unknown, Pixel 2! I know, right? So just a quick roundup on Pixel 2. Pixel 2 looks like it's gonna launch October 4th. I'll be there. It's gonna be a regular one, which looks like it's gonna be made by LG, according to HTC, according to the rumors. There also looks like there's going to be a big one, a Pixel 2 XL made by LG. The Pixel 2 XL looks like it's pretty much going to be V30 with pixel styling. And so I've got the V30 somewhere. I'm going to leave that for now. So Pixel XL, roughly a 5-inch screen, Snapdragon 835 probably. It's going to have no headphone jack by the looks of things. Android police, there were loads and loads of leaks, but it is going to have stereo speakers, which is great. Another thing that I really like about this phone. It also looks like it's going to be IP68 water and dust resistant, making it really similar to the iPhone 8. The Pixel XL2 looks like it's going to, Pixel 2 XL even, looks like it's going to have really different styling to the regular Pixel. The Pixel 2 XL looks like it's going to look more like a V30, 18:9 aspect ratio display, less bezels. They both still have that glass panel around the back. It also looks like the Pixel 2 XL is going to have this black and white combination. So back glass plate will be black, or top part will be black, and then the whole phone will be white, or vice versa. I really want that option. It looks like a lot of fun. As for the camera, it looks like it's going to be 12 megapixel physically. It's a giant camera lens. So that suggests a giant sensor. So that suggests excellent low light performance. The bigger the sensor, the harder it is to put image stabilization on their optical. So if it has that, I'll be surprised. But you don't need it based on the Pixel, because the Pixel had one of the best cameras around. Thanks for making me talk about that, British Unknown. If you've got any more questions about the Pixel XL2, I've been checking out the rumors all day, so I'm pretty clued up. EW Isaac says, do you think Sony will sell a pro version of the XZ1 compact? I really hope so. I really hope so, because if they did, I'd probably buy it. Like, honestly, I'd use it as my daily phone. The size is great, the software is great. Yeah, the camera isn't my favorite, but I'm willing to make that sacrifice. Specifically, it isn't my favorite with regards to low light. Is the rear camera as wide as LG G6 on the V30? Yes, it is. It's 120-degree wide angle. But what's great is that LG's managed to remove some of the distortion, so it's a much more natural-looking 120-degree wide angle. Right. Let's see what else you guys are asking. Oh, that wide angle. Okay, so Shanghai Shas means the rear camera on the XZ1 compact. No, it's nowhere near as wide. Nowhere near as wide. The front camera is. The front camera is super wide, 120-degree wide angle. We can flip it around so you can see how wide the front camera is on here. So flip it to the front camera and you can see you've got an option. This is a narrow angle and this is the wide angle, narrow angle. And yeah, that's pretty sweet stuff. So flipping that out, love this phone, but the rear camera is not wide angle at all. Flip back to my face and get your questions up. How much ISO in manual mode does the XZ1 compact go up to? So let's find that out for you. Reverse out. Last couple of questions, guys, so that I can shoot out of here. Reverse that out there, and manual, you want to know the ISO, so it can go up to 3200 ISO. There you go. Jump out of that, see some more of your questions. LG V30 speaker quality, that's from Kamal Saeed. Hey Kamal, nice to see you on here. No, the speaker quality on the V30 is loud, but it's not great. It's a single mono speaker, you can easily cover it up. What's good is it's on the right hand side, so if you're holding the phone in landscape, then it's a sweet deal because you're not covering it up with the right hand palm, because it's on the top side of the bottom. Yeah, if that made any sense. So for gaming, it's not the worst out there. The worst would be if it was on the bottom right, but it's not the best because it's still easy enough to cover up. Front speakers would have been great, but yet to see a bezel-less screened phone which has front speakers. Why are you getting, when are you getting the new iPhones? Don't know about that, dude. Hopefully soon, but iPhones at the moment, until we get them in our hand, are lower priority. Don't want to like do stupid amounts of rumors and stuff like that. So yeah, iPhone's taking a bit of a back seat until we get them in, but we'll do our best to get them in. And I think, guys, I am flagging, in case you can't tell. It is getting darker here, and we've talked to death about this. We've almost been on for half an hour, so you guys have made this enjoyable chat room, firing loads of questions my way. I'm going to finish my coffee, I'm going to get into the gym, I'm going to have a workout, and then the next video I post will probably be at a launch event in Rome. So if you've got any more questions, comment below. Thank you again, shout out Vodafone for providing us with a SIM card to do this 4G stream from. Yeah, cheers guys, have a good one, bye.